Hi everyone, it's Dawn. I just had a couple little technical difficulties there. I'd like to welcome you today to Pathway to Peace. We're going to do a 2-day training and we're going to cover quite a few topics. As you all know, when I do my trainings, I usually do have notes with me so that I can make sure that I touch upon everything that I set out to do. You may hear my dogs walking back and forth in here as well. They just don't want to leave mom alone today. So, the structure of this class is going to be in 2 different days, and we're going to cover the little version here that I have of Pathway to Peace, where we're going to break it down into segments, where we're going to be naming our storm, which is our grief, and being able to come up with our actual names for this is what I'm feeling right now. If you're numb, if you're feeling so much pain, and we're going to learn to embrace that with moving forward into the new life that we have now without our loved one. So before we begin completely here, I would like you to make sure that you have a pad and paper because you might want to take a few notes and do some writing. This training I'm not going to use a whiteboard for. I do have some other exercises that in the future we can use a whiteboard. And I just like to make sure that you have that for yourself in case you do want to take notes. And I need to also take off my bracelets. I am a bracelet person and they're very noisy on my desk. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dawn Loopsdorf, and I am the creator of the 12-week program, Rising After Loss. I am a grief and loss coach, and I'm super glad to have you here. Whether you're new to my space or if you have been following me for a while or in my group Navigating Grief and Loss, which I started in December of 2024. I would really like to welcome you. This group is for you. You're at the right place today. It's for your heart and it's for your healing. I have a wide variety of tools in my toolbox. I am not only a grief and loss coach, but I've been a therapeutic coach since 2009, and I am a master hypnotherapist. I also am trained in NLP. I do breath work and therapeutic yoga as well. And I've also been trained in theta healing. So I do have a wide variety of things that I do work with my clients in. And just the letting everyone know that working with me is not a cookie cutter program. Everyone is different. Everyone's grief is different. Everyone's reactions to their grief is different. And we custom build together a path for you to move forward after your loss. So what I'd like to do today, if everyone is settled in their chairs, please let me know down below if you're watching this live or if you are watching it on a replay. I do hope you enjoy it. And if anyone has any questions, please absolutely feel free to reach out to me and send me a message below in the comments or send me a chat message. So we're going to cover quite a lot, as I said. The number one thing we're going to learn is that time does not heal all wounds. I know many people say, oh, just give it time, it'll be better. That it's not going to heal it just by allowing it to be. We actually need to face our emotions and learn to become those emotionally intellectual humans that we want to be and move forward in our grief. So ask yourself, who can I become embracing the life that you now have? Something has changed in your life. If you've lost a loved one, if you've gone through a divorce, if you've lost a job, any lost trauma actually feels the same way in the body. So life without your loved one is going to be a learning process. And you're going to learn to process all of your emotions without your loved one in your life. Today, we're going to learn to carry that through to tomorrow and embrace it for your future. So, as we start this little training today, I would like to have you sit down comfortably, and I want to do a little breath work session before we begin and a short guided imagery. So, as you're sitting comfortably in your chair, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Continue that breath pattern as you slowly close your eyes. Hands on your legs, sitting up straight, back up against the back of your chair if you can. Comfortable, continuing on that breath path. In through the nose, holding it briefly for a couple seconds, and exhaling through the mouth. Eyes closed, completely relaxed. Grief is a journey, and each of us carry our own story. There is no right or wrong way to feel. There's no right or wrong way to feel in each moment. However, you were brought here today, whether you're feeling heavy, numb, or even uncertain, I want to welcome you into this space. Continue with those deep breaths in. And as you move through today's experiences, I encourage you to be present with whatever emotions come up for you. Just let them be. No judgment, no resilience, no resistance, just awareness. In through your nose, and again out through your mouth. As you're seated comfortably in your chair, eyes closed, with that intentional breathing, relaxing your body. In through your nose and out through your mouth. I want you to feel your belly expand as you slowly exhale through your mouth. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Breathing in peace. Breathing out worry. As you begin to relax, I want you to take a moment to feel yourself in a safe, warm place where someone you love or lost can join you. You feel their presence now, not as a memory, but as love itself. You hear their voice, you feel their energy. Let them sit with you in this moment. They don't need to say anything, and you don't need to say anything. Just feel the peace that comes with this connection. Take one more deep breath. In and exhale out. This is the energy of transformation. This is the spark of your inner strength. Feel that glow, the warmth of your loved one near you. Take a moment to be with them. Say the things you might need to say. Feel their presence. Make mental note of the things you're noticing while they're with you. Maybe they're here to tell you they're okay. You say to them what needs to be said. You feel that spark of your inner strength growing and glowing. It's a golden glow, and it begins to form around you, wrapping itself around you, warm and gentle. Now, in your mind's eye, I want you to envision a magical phoenix, magnificent and beautiful. Feathers shimmer with hues of gold, red, and orange. It's strong, resilient, and wise. The phoenix represents your journey. As you feel warm, you feel your ability to rise from your loss and your grief renewed and empowered. You watch as the phoenix spreads its wings and flames flickering with life. It bows its head as if to acknowledge the pain that you're going through, as if to acknowledge your strength and acknowledging your story. And then with a powerful push, it soars up to the sky, rising, lifting, ascending. Now you see yourself becoming one with the phoenix, feeling the fire, feeling the renewed sense of peace you have within. You're not lost in the ashes. You are rising. You are transforming. You are reclaiming your power. Take a deep breath in again. Slowly exhale. Again, inhaling the energy of the phoenix. Exhaling the heaviness that you are ready to release. Even if just a little portion, you're ready to release some of the grief. Exhale fully. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, and we begin to bring this visualization to a close, you notice your loved one again. You bid them farewell for now, knowing that anytime you want to revisit this, you have the power and the resources within to bring yourself right back to this space. With a deep inhale and exhale, and visualizing this warm space where your loved one can meet you. We're bringing the visualization to a close. Know that the phoenix within you is always there. And remembering you can return to this image whenever you need strength, whenever you need that reminder of the resilience that you already have living inside of you. Gently bring your awareness back to the space. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring your hands together and rub them together as you slowly begin to awaken. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes and take a moment to notice how you feel. Maybe a bit lighter, maybe more grounded, maybe something entirely different. Whatever is present for you in this moment, I want you to honor it. You are here. You are rising. You are never alone in this journey. Take a moment to bring yourself back. And now that you're fully back and fully present, I'd like to welcome you once again. Thank you so much for being here. Since this masterclass is online, it's difficult for me to discuss with each of you what your storm is. But one of the first things I always like to do is go through a little exercise and try and get my clients to name their storm. Naming your storm is what I call bringing out your true feelings. So, a storm can feel like total chaos in your world. It can feel like that tornado that goes through your brain every day. I'm trying to introduce an idea to you that grief is a storm within yourself. It can be unpredictable, overwhelming, and sometimes very isolating. When you name the storm, you begin to understand it. And when you recognize it, you can also recognize it in others. And you will see that they have storms as well. And you'll realize that you're not alone. So if you can take a moment, if you have paper and pencil or whatever you have to write with, take a couple minutes and understand you cannot heal what you cannot name. As I mentioned before, time does not heal all wounds. We need to face our loss, face our feelings, and once we begin to recognize that pain and not sugarcoat it, don't sugarcoat it at all. If it hurts like hell, I want you to say that. If you feel like you can't go on, I want you to write that too. This is your piece of information for your healing. So, talking about what grief really is, it's not just sadness, it's confusion, exhaustion, guilt, anger, numbness. It's the brain fog, it's the longing, it's the I should have been able to get over it by now, but you're not. And that's okay. You're not broken, you're healing. And healing takes courage. By watching this today, you are showing such great courage and such compassion for your own heart that you should be very, very proud of yourself. In the comments, I would love it if you could write down what your emotions are. What emotions show up for you right now when I say that? Is it sadness? Is it failure? Discontent? Disconnectedness? It could be all of them. And I also want you to think about, what do you wish people understood about your grief? For me, it was that it hurt me more than I could even say, even more than I could ever imagine expressing in words. And then I needed to talk about it. I always thought that it was something that I had to keep inside of myself. And I personally have had a way of grieving that many people have thought was kind of odd. I've always been the person who will become the business as usual person. I will take care of all the things that need to be done, all of the arrangements that need to be made when we lose someone, take care of the party planning and the life insurance information, making sure that I have little files and compartments for everything, which isn't working with my feelings. It's putting them aside. But I've always been the one that allowed myself that time, a specific time out of my day, to grieve for myself, whether it's outside screaming, which is one of the things that I would love you to know that is perfectly normal, especially if you live in the country. I've had a few people do this where their neighbors have come over to their house and said, "Hey, is everything okay?" When you're outside, or you go for a walk in the woods, just scream, 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 scream it out. And it really does help. It brings that emotion to the surface and it allows you to express it even as you're alone. But I know that in even my own process, I needed to talk it through with somebody. So if we can recognize and name that pain without sugarcoating it, we've taken the first step. An example of my own, recognizing my own grief, means that we tell ourselves the cold hard truth. We keep it raw, without sugarcoating things, without spiritually bypassing them, without minimizing it. I recognize this excruciating pain in my chest, and I feel like there's a weight that just cannot be lifted from me. I've had days when I truly didn't even want to go on. Days when I thought maybe it'd be better if I just joined my loved one on the other side. It'd be a lot easier. This is not weakness. This is honesty. And honesty is the doorway to healing. When you name what you're feeling, mine was heartbreak, rage, numbness, and despair. We take that first brave step. We stop running and we start acknowledging. Yes, it hurts like hell, and it's okay to say that out loud. So if you can take a moment to write down and explain to yourself what your grief is, give it a name. Whether it's the tornado of hell or whether it's isolation, you've named it. And we also need to then take a moment to learn how to release it. So in that moment, if you give it breath and you give it the means to move and give it permission to move through and out of your body, know that it may come back. Know that it probably will come back. But in this moment, you can make yourself feel better by talking it out with someone. Give it permission to move out of your body. So in my release, it doesn't mean it's releasing the pain. It doesn't mean it's erasing the pain. I'm sorry, that was not supposed to be releasing, because you are releasing it. You're releasing the pain temporarily, but you're not erasing it permanently. It means you give it space so it doesn't stay trapped inside of you all the time. Once I named my pain, I could bring it to light. Not forever, but just long enough to begin to let it go. With each time we bring it to the light, we take another step towards shrinking it. By sharing it, we hold it and we learn to carry it. And we walk with it as part of ourselves, but not as our whole self. I don't give my grief permission to take over. It doesn't control me. I do allow myself moments to be sad and to bring all of that back up, all of those feelings that you may realize you may not have actually processed. So releasing it through breath, through tears, through safe spaces and brave conversations. And remembering it's not just a one-time act, it's a practice. And the more you practice, the better you get. You learn to soften, and you learn to let go of what has been gripping you so tightly that you no longer need. You understand that these feelings no longer serve you. And by saying that, I don't want you to feel at all like you are a prisoner of it. But whenever we feel sadness, it is serving us in some way. Is it our tears are allowing us to not talk about what we're feeling? Our grief is keeping us our held in our stuff and held in our shit, and we really don't want to stay there. It's important for us to release what no longer serves us. So again, like I told you, I scream it out. Once I've given it breath and given it life, I know how to reconnect with it. And this is where your tenderness comes in. Reconnecting means allowing ourselves to feel both the sorrow and the sweetness once again. Both the sorrow and the sweetness once again. We can be sad, yet we can also make ourselves so happy by sharing those moments of our loved ones. By sharing the sweetness, it means we're letting our love rise to the surface without the guilt. We can love and still miss our loved ones. We can smile and remember our loved ones. We don't need to hold the tears, not as often anyway. We move forward without guilt. So in my reconnecting, just yesterday was my friend Mark's birthday, and as many of you know, his loss was the reason why I decided I was going to move forward and help others with their grief. I've lost many people in my life, and they were all very difficult. They were all very, very unique. But the loss of the person that you never thought you would say goodbye to is really one of the most difficult that I've had. Mark's birthday was yesterday, and my grief came in like a wave. I made a short little post wishing him happy birthday, and I started crying so hard. The waterworks really were turned on high, and I just needed someone to hear me. That was me giving my sorrow and my sadness breath yesterday. So I called my daughter, and of course she said, "Mom, is everything okay?" And I said, "Yeah, it is." I said, "I just need you to hear me." She said, "What's up?" I said, "I miss Mark so much." And she said, "I know, I do too." So I let myself feel it. I let myself remember. I let myself be with it for a moment. Reconnecting isn't about living in the past. It's about letting our love continue. Continue in the present. It's calling on a support system, as I did my daughter yesterday. It's calling on people we trust just to hold our space. They don't even need to say anything, just to have them hear us. It's crying when we need to, and it's laughing when we can. It's whispering their names with reverence. So after I got off the phone with my daughter, I sat outside and I spoke with Mark. Told him how much I missed him, and I let him know that I was celebrating his birthday with his parents last night. And after my husband was done with work, we got a cake and some flowers for his mom, and we went in and spent the evening with them. We had drinks, we hugged, we laughed, we cried, but we remembered Mark. And that was one piece of my healing. Even though it felt like just a little birthday celebration with cake, it was part of everyone's healing. And that's what I would love to see in you as well. So you reconnect with your loved ones in those moments of sadness and in the moments of joy, in the sunsets, the songs, the smiles. the smells, the meltdowns, and every other memory that comes along with it. You're reconnecting with your loved one. That's part of learning to carry them with you. Healing is not about moving on, it's about moving forward with love, with honesty, and with the tools that you're given. This is a great tool that I just shared with you. Giving it that breath, and with the strength to carry forward those memories that are etched in your heart always. Learning to carry with strength what is etched in your heart always. Reconnecting to yourself, reconnecting to your purpose, reconnecting to your people, and even your loved one in spirit once again. It's possible. And I look forward to hearing from all of you that you were able to do this. So, how grief manifests itself, it isn't always loud. Sometimes it's completely silent. Sometimes it's fatigue or that major disconnection that you feel from your friends or family who may not be feeling the loss as deeply as you are. Give yourself kindness and understand that everyone grieves in their own way. And just because they aren't home crying as often as you are or not able to go out, they still may be grieving. And as you learn these tools and you learn to recognize them in yourself, you're also going to see them in others and allow it to spark conversations that, hey, you look sad. Is everything okay? And maybe they'll want to open up and talk to you as well. So it could actually look like your productivity goes into overdrive where you just are cleaning your house constantly and you just can't sit still because you're afraid if you do that you'll never stop crying. So maybe it looks like you're tired all the time or you feel like you're alone. If you feel that, if you feel that disconnection from friends and family, let's begin to notice how our grief enters into our world, especially when we least expect it. When you've been thinking for so long that you were ready to go to a party or you're ready to celebrate with your family, and that second thought comes in at the last minute and you, no, I can't. You feel physically ill. You don't want to be there with anyone else because you're afraid of how your grief is going to show up. Try and remember that others are grieving as well, and they may be feeling the same thing. So if you honor your own grief, allow it to bring the strength into your life to share it with others because they may be feeling the same thing. Remember, they may be feeling the same thing. So I want you to take a moment now. Once you've named your storm and you've acknowledged that it's there, when you acknowledge your grief instead of denying it or suppressing it, you're reclaiming your own power. Grief, grief thrives in silence, but peace thrives in honesty. So be honest with yourself. No matter what the feelings are, if you're angry at your person, if you're angry at yourself, if you're angry at another loved one because of the way they handled things, you need to be okay with that and voice it. If you don't feel that you can voice it to them, voice it to yourself. Write it down. One of the one of the exercises that I teach in my program as well is a burn box. And I teach everyone because I am so much about pen and paper. If I have feelings inside of me, I do a lot of exercises and I do scream and holler and try and get it out as much as I can. But I will sit down and I'll journal and or just grab my trusty pad of paper here and I will write down all of my feelings, no matter how terrible they are. I leave nothing unsaid, and sometimes they're very bad when I've decided I was going to just go on and write down everything that's coming up for me. And when I'm done, I'll read that. I'll tear it up, tear it out. I'll crumple it up and I will throw it in a fire and I will watch it burn. It's such a healing experience to realize that you said it, you put it out there. The universe can now take it away. And it's a healing process as well, even though very small at times. But we know that we're releasing it and we're letting things go. So, acknowledging your feelings is the main thing that I want you to take away from today, and giving it breath and allowing it to be released, whether it's burning it, screaming it out, letting the world know about your sadness, because everyone is unique. And if you ask yourself, who can I become by embracing my life? You're living a new life without your loved one in it. You're learning to process those emotions without your loved one in your life. Today, carry it. Carry it through today, tomorrow, and embrace it for your future. Many of you know that I also have a 12-week program that I work with clients one on one, creating a very personalized experience to help them through their grief. Not everybody processes their grief the same. There isn't any cookie cutter way to do it, like I mentioned earlier. I bring compassion and support. I walk with you every step of the way. I bring you emotional healing. We focus on recognizing, processing, and healing to foster an emotionally resilient life. It's bringing in self discovery to help you rediscover what your life is now like without your loved one in it. And I help you move forward to a life of peace and ultimately moving into your life of inner peace. I've worked with many people and have had them, some of them have actually become coaches themselves. They've felt as though they became resilient enough to and have developed enough skills within to say, hey, I can help you too. And that's great. Not everyone is going to become a grief coach. It's can be a sad job sometimes. And sometimes you can take on things that others feel, but helping others heal is one of the greatest joys that I've ever had. So, when you build a helpful, fulfilling future for yourself while still honoring your loved one and still honoring your loss and allowing yourself that peace, you grow in so many different ways. And you learn to help others in so many different ways as well. Even if you just do some of the exercises that you've learned, if you just do the exercises that you've learned today with your family, it will help them immensely. So, in a nutshell, I guess the program that I've designed is to help you process your grief and learn to move forward in a healthy way and move towards your peace. Over 12 weeks, we will work together to understand your emotions, develop resilience, rebuild your sense of self. That's a big one. Rebuilding your sense of self. Who am I now without my loved one? Your life still goes on, even though theirs has ended. Face those difficult moments when you're forced to move forward and you don't want to. The only thing you want is to move back to where you were, which is completely and absolutely understandable. But as I mentioned the other day to a group that I had for grief support, imagine yourself standing on a bridge. The life you had is behind you. The life you're meant to live is in front of you. You know you can't go back. So slowly but surely, you learn who you are. You develop the new sense of who you are without your loved one. And you learn to rebuild a life that honors both your loss and your future. And you build that one brick at a time and one step at a time. You're never going to do it all at once. It's one moment at a time, one day at a time. So each week we will dive deeper into your journey with the ongoing support, and you'll know that you do not have to do it alone. You're not alone in this process. You have someone with you, and you realize more and more that you have many other people around you. So if you can do me a favor today and just smile, share a memory of your loved one with someone else, write it down, journal it. As I mentioned before, journaling is very important to me, and I do make sure that everyone who works with me has a journal. As soon as we sign up, I get your address and I mail out a care package to you. And during our time together, we use everything in that care package. I have also developed a 6-week program that I am launching, and I have a limited number of spaces in it so that I can make sure that I give everybody the attention that their grief deserves. So we meet weekly via Zoom, and it allows everyone time to kind of bounce ideas off of one another and also form some friendships during that time, and hopefully lasting ones. So they're with people all over the world, grieving different issues, grieving different people, and all coming together for the same goal, to help them work through their grief. And I invite everyone here to put a note in the chat down below here in the comments if there is anything that you would like to see as we move forward into tomorrow. I do have a couple things that I've had a few of my grief support group members share with me that they've had questions about. And again, to remember that grief comes in waves. It can be like an endless fog, lightning and anger. It's the storm. And if you name the storm, you can begin to heal the storm. Just be honest and notice how many of us wrote overwhelmed or lonely. You're not alone. And there are steps to help you get there. Storms do not last forever, they change, and so do we. By recognizing our storm, we take that first step towards navigating it. So I invite you to consider, what is one small thing that you can do today to make it a little calmer? Bring a little more calm into your storm. Write down your answers and reflect on them later. Learn and recognize how it shifted your focus inward when you wrote that down. When you wrote down the how can I make this a little lighter and how can I bring some calm into my storm. If I take a moment just to remember and reminisce, call up a friend. Reminisce about something that you used to do with your loved one. Maybe it includes a picture. Maybe it includes you drawing a picture. Maybe it simply helps you slide your grief a little bit. And maybe it allows a shift in you that's immense. Allow yourself to experience your storm and allow yourself to heal at the same time. Each time that we come up with a new feeling, write it down. Today, just write it down and face it. Scream it out loud. Take that paper, rip it up, crunch it up, burn it. Journal. Make sure that you keep a journal. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you are feeling so sad or you had a dream, write it down. And if you're feeling this heavy weight on your chest, please understand that that is where we carry our grief. Grief is carried in our lungs. So when we try to talk about things and it comes up that we can't even breathe, it's true, we can't, because our grief sometimes feels paralyzing and it takes our breath away. That's perfectly normal. So as you go on with your day today, I want to thank you for being here with me for the first part of this training. I will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I want to leave you with a short little, I don't know where I put it, with a short little reflection again. And as we started before with our eyes closed, bring yourself comfortable. Take those deep breaths in and fully exhale, releasing the tension, thanking ourselves, thanking our heart for allowing us to share with our own self today, writing all of those feelings down or commenting as you have. Continuing to breathe deeply in. And remember, you have the power. When you acknowledge your grief, instead of denying it or suppressing it, you are reclaiming your power. Grief thrives in silence, but peace thrives in honesty. Be honest with yourselves. So as I place my hand on my heart for all of you, I honor your grief. I want you to do so as well. but do not be bound by it. Choose to rise, choose to heal, and choose to reclaim your life. Your past does not shape you. The grief does not define you. Today, you step forward with courage and embrace the journey that you are about to embark on. Your journey ahead, filled with hope, resilience, and love. You are worthy of joy, and you will create a future that honors both your loss and your growth. And like the phoenix, you will rise again. So I hope you come back tomorrow, where we'll work on rebuilding and reframing. And if today cracked open just a little part for you, let it be the start of something new. Tomorrow we begin to rebuild. Same time, same place. I'll be here waiting for you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Embrace your strength. Thank you for sharing. And if you can, invite friends if you think it would help them tomorrow as well. Thank you very much.